Hello and welcome to a new Save the World / Fortnite video. I have not done a Save the World video in a while, but for the ones that don't know, Save the World has always been my happy place and is one of my favorite games. And I have been playing it since 2018. In this video, I'm going to cover all the recent changes to in-game mechanics, problems with items being removed from people's lockers, even being in V-Bucks debt, which is crazy to think that can be a thing, and freebies, because you know me, I love letting you guys know what are all the things that we can get for free but just playing the game. As usual, this video will have timestamps, so feel free to jump to whatever you need to go. This is also going to be a combination of me yapping on Twitch. The link is going to be in the description box because we just heard about the changes, and I also have some afterthoughts after playing for a few hours and actually seeing and testing those changes. One of the things that I have not done, and I'm not a huge fan of for different reasons, is I have never do trading. And the reason why I did that is because when you stream Save the World, there's a lot of people out there that always want trading. They want guns, they want weapons, things like that. And what a lot of people don't understand is how the game works. The game works based on your power level, and basically you don't need 130s if you are sitting in stone, one plank or turn. I barely actually use the 130s if I'm running 140s, 160s, right? That's when I'm gonna use, because your power level is not the 130, right? Your power level 19, you're gonna do power level 19 damage, that type of thing. Now with that being said, the Save the World update 37, it just dropped, and there are a lot of things that they are changing. So one of them is loot changes, and it says that to improve the player experience, we have and encourage team play. See how we say team play, right? They have made some changes about the way that we drop loot and how it works. So when a player opens a container, harvest the environment, eliminate enemies, or harvest a loot llama, a copy of each loot item will be generated for each nearby teammate. These extra copies will be instanced, meaning they are only visible to the player that they are meant for. No more competing with your teammates for that rare resource. In fact, staying with your team and working together will result in more loot for everyone. And so basically what that means is that if we are all in a farming session and I see some shadow shards or some quartz crystals and I break it, as long as you guys are nearby, you guys are also going to get a copy of those items. There is loot everywhere. I was able to catch the loot drop from my team and we all got our share. There are a few restrictions to this farming new mode, and they said on the post that they are encouraging people to be closer to the team. So after running a few tests, here are our notes. Llamas will drop loot for everybody that is nearby, regardless if they help to destroy it or not. The same will go for regular farming. You don't need to farm the resource to get your part. As long as you are nearby, you will get it. Yeah, I got everything.
Perfect.
That's really good.
That's a nice quality change.
That is a nice quality change. Chests also work this way, so as long as you're nearby, everybody gets the loot, which is fantastic. For llamas specifically, if you are not nearby when it's looted, then you will only get the leftovers. That is kind of like how it works nowadays, so there is no change in that. If you are nearby and you don't gather the materials right away, after a few minutes, everything disappears. Or some of it. Well, most of it. Now, this is a little bit odd because we opened 2 llamas, one entirely disappeared except for 2 items after 3 minutes, and for the other one we waited the probably same amount of time and everything was still there. So I don't know how that works. Something important to mention is that if you are running Clip, her perks will only apply to you. Your team will get their share, which is a regular drop, whatever resource they're farming, but Clip will still give you more, as that is her perk. Now the way that distance work is, if you are, at least on the test that we run, if you are 75 meters and more away from your team, you don't get anything. This goes up and down, meaning if you are in a cave and your team is 75 meters away, they won't get any loot. 50 meters, it seems like you get some loot For llamas, it seems that you get what is left, meaning that people couldn't fill their inventory, which is kind of like how it works now. So there's no change on that one. And then at 20 meters and less, everybody gets everything. We have to say that we love this change. But of course, we all play together. I have a full lobby, I stream on Twitch, I have a community, and we grind missions. This is not the same experience that you're going to have when you are dealing with randoms. So I think that I don't even know how that's going to pan out. The other downside is that if you're trying to get different things done, you can't. You basically have to stick to a 20 meters radius with your current party so you can get, the loot. I guess that in that case, they're going to have to be specific farming sessions. I don't know. I do have to say big shout out to Fabi and Metlo for running this test with me. You guys are awesome. So then it says, to compensate for all the extra loot that will be generated with this change, item sharing has been removed in the modes where the inventory carries over between missions, such as campaign, main story, and storm shield defense. When you drop items in this mode, other players will not be able to see or interact with them. Now, there are a lot of reasons why trading in Fortnite has never been perfect. Trading and, scamming. And this happens to younger viewers, right? This doesn't happen to me as, as a grown-ass adult, right? I always appreciate when people drop mats, and whenever I can, I drop maps for others. That's not a problem at all. There are even websites when you could buy. People will make money out of this. And I'm not joking. I'm actually going to show a little bit of that. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, let me show you this website. Websites like this, right? Basically what they are is to sell in-game items for actual money. I have never been on these websites. I know that they exist because I used to be part of Fortnite communities in Facebook. I no longer have Facebook anymore. But basically this is how it works. All platform batteries, the delivery is between 24 hours. You get 400 batteries and you get them back for $5. You can't do this anymore. I don't know how legit these places are, but basically they are making money out of in-game items that technically have no value, that they are not allowed to sell because they don't own the game, right? Fortnite, this is against terms of service, right? People could get banned for selling them. I don't know what it is when you buy them, but definitely selling them is a no-go. Yes, these are going to be useless now. They completely took this out. This also goes along with the fact that there are so many dupes, glitches in the game. I'm not a huge fan of dupes in general. I don't know how profitable that was, to be quite honest with you. I really don't know. But now that's gone. I do think that in higher level missions, such as maybe starting at 120s, for example, I think that should be allowed. Because normally people who run those missions, it's a grind to farm for those materials. 100%. I agree with you. I think that could be like a better way for them to do this and to, fix this issue. I don't know how much backlash they're gonna get, but you guys know that I love this game and I'm gonna yap about it. We do 160s here. Somebody has been building for us. We drop the maps for them so they can actually go ahead and do it. Maybe their schematics are better, right? Whatever the case may be, there's definitely, like, if they put a lock until you have to be certain amount power level, right, to do so and to get that, then probably that would have been a better way to go around this. So in modes where inventory does not carry over between sessions, like Hit the Road, Dungeons, Frostnest, and Survive the Horde, loot will not be instanced, and item sharing will be enabled. So now Hit the Road, Dungeons, Frostnest, Survive the Horde, which are not venture modes, but these are just additional things that we get throughout the year, will be able to drop mats. I think that it has always been like that, so there's no change there. For better clarity, the UI indicators will appear in these modes in the world map, mission map, and in-game as a modifier. So we will be able to see that in the game to know, oh, we can trade here, I can drop mats for you, or I can't. So farming is no joke. The amount of materials that we need to craft things would take a long time. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that. I have been able to, you guys have donated mats to me as well. Whenever I can, I also give back things like that. So I don't think this as an overall good change. There are things that are definitely being taken out, which I understand and is totally fair, especially those type of stores. I don't think that anybody has covered anything about it. I don't even know if they knew that it existed.
As the last thought of this whole thing that they did, I don't think that this was a change needed. I think that if they wanted to change something like this, they should have done this years ago. I have been able to get people in the game because I was able to give them mats or give them traps or share with them a weapon. I will always see what weapons they like and see if I had it, perk it all the way up, and then give them a copy so they could test it. Found those weapons are not longer obtainable, so now nobody else will be able to get them unless you actually have one of those founders back. So I think that if they will be able to give either a designated area to do it, or maybe in a specific power level for you to be able to trade, or I don't know, could be different ways for them to fix them, but them decided to change it right now. It's very odd, it's very weird. Again, I understand why they did it, but specifically for communities that have grown as sharing things, and Fortnite Save the World community is one of those. The community thrives by sharing not only knowledge but also mats and weapons. So this is definitely not a good change overall.
And duplicating bugs is something that is going to continue happening. I am not a huge fan of the bugs. I think that I was kind of like discussing about it because I don't want my account to get in trouble. I have spent so much time and so much money on my Fortnite account that I want to do what I can to protect it. And part of that is not abusing of any dupes, glitches that I don't know if they can get my account banned or not.
This actually takes me to the next issue. A lot of players got item removes from their lockers, including V-Bucks, and that is because players abused of a bug with Xbox, or they got gifted things from accounts that had abuse of that bug. My humble opinion about this is that when an in-game glitch happens, most of the time Epic does a really good job at fixing it. However, you saw that this happened and you decided to continue exploiting it over and over again. Most of the time with exploited glitches, Epic is just going to patch it and move on with their lives. However, this bug is going to affect their finances. I know Fortnite makes a lot of money, but at the end of the day, this is a business. So eventually, they're always going to find a way to resolve that issue. In this case, they went and removed everything from people's account, and they were clear as why that happened. The original bug was that you will refund a skin and you will get the V-Bucks back, but the item was still in your locker. So basically, the way that they fixed it is they removed the V-Bucks that you got by refunding that skin over and over again, and everything that was purchased with those V-Bucks was also removed. The lesson for me, at least, is if you see a bug that is happening, let it be. It's not worth compromising your account.
The other biggest update in the UI is that we can actually see the shop right now from Save the World. I don't have to leave Save the World anymore. I reset is there. This is a big win, honestly. I don't have to leave Save the World to see the item shop. We can just see it from here. That is fantastic. I love this part of the update. It should have done a long time ago. So, a few things. Really quickly, we have a lot of different quests right now, reward. The first one is we still have a week and 5 days for the Champions Roads to be completed. You get a spray, loading screen, and a back bling, so don't forget to do it. All you have to do is play the game. I didn't complete any of the challenges and you will get it done. We have finally the reload pickaxe that everybody saw in the files and that people thought that it was going to be for getting a win on reload has actually been released. Basically, you have 1 week and 6 days to get this, earn 10 account levels, or win 2 reload matches. Okay, there you go. Either 10 account levels or 2 reload matches to claim the D-Res Destroyer pickaxe. So now is the time for us to grind.
And last but not least, this literally just dropped. There is going to be a free Sunny remix skin. If you don't remember her, she's from the Invasion season. And all you have to do is get a win in Blitz Royale with a 6 stack. That is the keyword there, okay? And it's from now, which is Friday, until Sunday. This skin is going to be granted to your locker on Monday, so make sure to jump in the game and get that win in a 6 stack. And that's going to be all for today. Let me know in the comments what do you think about the Save the World changes. How do you feel about everybody getting things removed from their locker? And did you get already all your free rewards? Let me know. And if you want to join a community that enjoys gaming but we are adults, the link is going to be in the description box. I stream on Twitch at least 4 nights a week, and I will love to have you there. Thank you again so much to my patrons for all your support, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye!